Right, we've got a lot of gents in the room for a change tonight. How many of you boys work in sales? Hands up. Anyone? Yes. Right, ladies and gents work in sales? Right, who knows an alpha male?
I'm scared to answer.
Right. Who would consider themselves to be an alpha male? Okay, right, okay. Now, when we think about alphas, is it normally a positive thing or a negative thing? Hands up who thinks it's generally negative. Okay, hands up who thinks it's generally positive. Right. Well, I've always believed that an alpha should be loud, should be physically strong, should be confident, should be powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, I am what an alpha male looks like. Or am I? The year's 1989 and a small boy walks past his council estate holding his mum's hand. Mum, can I have a bag of crisps? Of course you can, dear, she says, and hands him a pack of crisps. Have a lovely day, dear, she says, and off he toddles into school. Now, Mum knows that he's got eczema, he's got asthma, he's got allergies, he's got a bit of a lisp, a bit of a speech impediment. What she doesn't realise is the last thing that he's going to be having when he gets into school is a lovely day. He's struggling to keep up with what's on the board. He's getting bullied on a regular basis. A few years go past, he moves to another school, and unfortunately the problems continue. The eczema grows worse. The asthma's so bad at the age of 10 he nearly dies from an asthma attack. He's blowing his nose all the time. He's then told that he's got dyslexia, so he has to go half a day to a normal school and half a day to a special needs school, where he's put into a class with kids that have severely learning difficulties. Now, he can't spell patronising, but he knows what it feels like. A few years go past and he goes to secondary school, and of course the hormones kick in now. The dandruff's coming down his school blazer, slicked down, gelled side parting, not exactly the coolest kid in the world. And despite the bullying kind of slowly dying down, he's still massively lacking confidence. He's terrified of the opposite sex. He wouldn't dream of speaking to a girl in a million years. And he develops body dysmorphia, decides that he's got something wrong with the way he looks, wants to get a nose job. Thankfully, the doctors turn him down and say, you're too young. At night, he'll drink whiskey from his bedside table. He'll write reams and reams of poetry or smoke a spliff out the bedroom window. I know, not ideal, because he's just trying to drown out all the nonsense, all the kind of fears, the anxieties in his mind. And then one day, at the age of 16, a friend of his says, do you want to come to the gym? Now, he's one of 4 boys. He's grown up watching Sly Stallone, Van Damme, all those macho men, and he decides, you know, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you always got. So he joins the gym, and he sees these big, strong, powerful, Herculean mountains of men. And around the same time, he also joins a rugby club. And what he notices is that the guys that seem to be popular with the ladies, they're not emotional, they don't connect, they're not vulnerable. In fact, unfortunately, they treat women like crap. And then this was when, that boy obviously was me, decided I'm going to become an alpha male. I'm going to spend the next however long it takes pushing our emotions down, pushing down any emotional connection, becoming physically as strong as I can be. Anything that scares me, I'm going to do. So I became a security guard. On the first night on the doors, shaved head, standing there, trying to look hard, 19 years old, and there's people pulling guns on the doors of the club that I'm on. And I'm having to tell gangsters to take their baseball caps off. One night, screw that, gave that up. Became a landscape gardener, a bricklayer, a fireman, a live statue, painted gold on a plinth. I met David Cameron standing like that, painted gold. Became a butler in the buff, walking around wearing aprons, collars and cuffs at hen nights. And then finally decided to become a stripper. Wow, that went quickly. Anyway, at the age of 30, having done all these things and having just won a natural bodybuilding comp, at this point I had a beautiful girlfriend. Physically, I was what every man wanted to be, well, certainly body-wise. But when physically I was my strongest, emotionally I was a wreck. I was getting anger issues, panic attacks. Somebody put a wheelie bin in front of my car and I drop-kicked the bin out of the way. I was shaking with rage. Woohoo! And I nearly had a nervous breakdown. Then one day I met a woman and she told me about her faith, how she'd been brought up as a Hindu, how she became a Christian, and a story of love. And I listened to it, and something she said broke something in me, and I dropped to the ground and cried my eyes out. And then from that moment onwards, all the anger and the aggression went. I was no longer focused on pushing harder and harder and harder. But now my focus on actually connecting with people on an emotional level, because all that needed to be something else. I'm going to carry on anyway. Do you mind?
No, 60 seconds.
60 seconds, right. Because all of that needed to be something else, needed to push harder. The 80s mentality, the Rocky, the Slice line about being this macho man, didn't matter anymore. Funny thing was, my business went through the roof. So in sales, I was able to sell to everybody because no longer was I focused on the money. I looked at Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, read about a lot of these people, and I realized that a true leader, a true alpha, isn't just about this, but a real leader leads with compassion, empathy. In fact, a leader leads with love. Right.